This week, President Donald Trump showed he still has a firm grip on the Republican base, helping take down one of his most outspoken GOP critics, Congressman Thomas Massie, in the Kentucky House primary. But the general election could be a different story, and Kentucky Democrats believe that the political winds may be shifting in their favor. The state has already shown it can elect Democrats statewide, twice sending Andy Beshear to the governor's mansion. Now, with Senator Mitch McConnell stepping aside, Democrats see an opening. The two-time Senate nominee, Charles Booker, says this race could be the first time Kentucky voters send a Democrat to the U.S. Senate in the 21st century. Joining us now is Democratic nominee for Kentucky's U.S. Senate seat, Charles Booker.
Mr. Booker, thank you so much for coming to the weekend. This is the third time that you've run for this seat, second time as the nominee. In the last general election against Rand Paul, you lost by about 23.6%. Why should voters in your state, why should donors in your state and otherwise believe that this time is different?
Well, first of all, it's an honor to be with you. And you're right. This feels like Rocky III for me. We've been building something truly special. We have one of the most amazing coalitions that you will see in modern political history. And we've laid the foundation for inspiring a new map. People who voted for Trump that have given up, people who have never voted before. There's a growing independent base here. And this campaign is a testament to them. Now, we have been grassroots from the start. This is funded by the people, it's powered by the people. But because we've been organizing for years, we've built a lot of trust. And that's why a lot of Kentuckians are standing with me now. This is a testament to how you organize, not just during the election cycle, but all year round. And I'm asking everyone watching, join us in winning a race that's rooted in the people. Go to charlesbooker.org, because this is the type of victory we need in this country at this moment.
Well, Mr. Booker, in order to win, you're going to have to beat Republican Congressman Andy Barr. He's getting a lot of backlash for a campaign ad where he tells Kentuckians, quote, "It's not a sin to be white." Watch this.
You know what DEI really stands for? Dumb, evil indoctrination. Woke liberals spew it, corporate losers fall for it. But thanks to Trump, America is rejecting that trash. And I'm leading the fight to end it for good. I'm Andy Barr. It's not a sin to be white. It's not against the law to be male. And it shouldn't be disqualifying to be a Christian. I'm Andy Barr, and I approve this message to give woke liberals something else to cry about.
Child.
Okay, that was my first time seeing that ad in full. My breath has been taken away. I am bereft of words. Your reaction to that?
Well, good Lord. He knows enough to be ashamed of himself, but he doesn't care enough to do anything different because he's sold out. He's trying to get close to a man in Donald Trump who cares only about himself, and he's weaponizing hate, racism, the playbook. We're tired of that BS. People see through it. They're laughing at him because they know he's a fraud. But more importantly, they're looking for leaders who actually care about us, not the politics of hate, not the greed and the investments in people like Elon Musk, but actually investing in the people of Kentucky, because we're hurting, man. We've been one of the poorest states in the country. We've been screwed over my entire life. Mitch McConnell was elected when I was 2 weeks old, and Andy Barr is the reincarnate of that same type of corruption, and we're done with that. And so while they're trying to sow hate, we're leaning into love. We're leaning into the power of family. We're standing up for community, from the hood to the holler, literally. There's a reason that folks who had Trump signs in their yards put Booker signs beside them, because they see me as a voice that's fighting to meet their needs. Medicare for all, true living wages, make sure that no one has to ration their medicine to put food on the table. So while my opponent, Andy Barr, tries to sell us out and sow hate, we're going to beat that and stand up for democracy and up for humanity.
Mr. Booker, I'm wondering, when you're looking at the margins by which Congressman Massie lost to Ed Galrain by, what makes you believe that you can actually pick up MAGA voters?
Well, one, it's already happening. And I know that we have a very incredible and historic coalition, and I'm honored to be a part of it. It's not partisan, because whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, we're all getting screwed. But I know there's more work to do. And the truth of the matter is, we're standing firm in integrity to call out the same types of corruption that Thomas Massie did, in saying that people like Andy Barr want to protect the Epstein files instead of protecting our children. But at the same time, we're standing up against the politics of hate and division at a time when people are really hurting and they're looking for real change. And so the question about
But
how
not
we
even
win
Epstein was a message that was able to put Massey over the edge.
Well, one of the differences between Thomas Massey and I is that I'm not trying to get close to Donald Trump. There's no way to play both sides. And while he also called out Trump for a lot of corruption, he still tried to hold his hand at the same time. And nobody's buying that. And we know that there is a lot of dark money, bad money in politics. We've seen it here. Elon Musk put $10 million into this Senate race, into a guy that dropped out to try to support Trump's agenda. People are tired of that. And we know we have work to do, which is why we're on the ground. We're doing a lot of storytelling. We're doing mutual aid. We're building community. This is not about vote for me because of my party affiliation. And I say every time, I'm a type 1 Democrat. I'm a type 1 diabetic, rather. And my insulin doesn't care about my party. So we have to get to speaking to people where they are. We're doing that. And that's why we're going to win.
Charles Booker running an uphill battle up in Kentucky. Thank you so much for coming to the weekend, sir.
President Donald Trump demonstrated this week that his hold on the Republican base remains strong as Congressman Thomas Massey fell to a primary challenger in Kentucky, a defeat widely seen as a signal of Trump's enduring influence over the party. Yet even as Republicans consolidate around their preferred candidates, Kentucky Democrats believe the broader political landscape is shifting in ways that could work in their favor. The state has already demonstrated a willingness to elect Democrats at the statewide level, sending Andy Beshear to the governor's mansion not once but twice. Now, with longtime Senator Mitch McConnell stepping away from his seat, Democrats see a genuine opportunity to make history. Two-time Senate nominee Charles Booker is campaigning on the belief that this race could mark the first time Kentucky voters choose a Democrat for the U.S. Senate in the 21st century. Booker, now the Democratic nominee for the seat, appeared on the program to make his case to voters and donors alike. Asked directly why, after two previous losses, including a defeat in his last Senate race by more than 23 points, anyone should believe this campaign will end differently, Booker was candid but confident. "We've been building something truly special," he said. "We have one of the most remarkable coalitions you'll see in modern political history. People who voted Republican, people who've never voted before, and a growing independent base that is hungry for something different. This campaign is a testament to all of them." Booker emphasized that his operation has been grassroots-driven since its inception, funded primarily by small donors and sustained through years of year-round organizing rather than election cycle surges. He argued that consistency has built the kind of community trust that traditional political campaigns rarely earn. On the Republican side, Booker will face Congressman Andy Barr in the general election. Barr has drawn significant attention and substantial criticism for a campaign advertisement in which he frames opposition to diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in sharp and provocative terms, closing with the declaration that being white, male, or Christian should not be treated as a political liability. The ad aired in full during the interview, visibly catching the anchor off guard. Booker's response was pointed but measured. He argued that the advertisement reflects the choices of a politician who has aligned himself entirely with a political movement rather than with the needs of his constituents, and that voters can see through that approach. "He's weaponizing division at a time when people are genuinely hurting," Booker said. "Kentucky has been one of the poorest states in the country for as long as I can remember. People aren't looking for someone to tell them who to blame. They're looking for someone who will actually fight for them." Booker contrasted Barr's messaging with his own platform, which centers on Medicare for all, living wages, and affordable access to prescription drugs, issues he frames not as partisan priorities, but as basic human needs that cross party lines. As a type 1 diabetic himself, Booker has made insulin affordability a personal and political centerpiece of his campaign. He also addressed the question of whether he can realistically win over voters who have previously supported Trump, pointing to what he described as an already emerging coalition that includes former Trump supporters now placing Booker signs in their yards alongside ones they put up in past election cycles. "Whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent, a lot of us are dealing with the same problems," he said. "The question is whether you have a leader who's actually going to show up and fight for you, or one who's going to protect the interests of the wealthy and the well-connected." Booker drew a distinction between his approach and that of Thomas Massie, who criticized Trump on some fronts while still seeking to maintain a working relationship with him. Booker argued that voters are no longer interested in candidates who try to navigate both sides of that divide. The road ahead remains steep for Booker in a state that has trended heavily Republican in federal elections. But he closed the interview with characteristic resolve, insisting that the organizing, the coalition, and the moment are all aligned, and that this time the outcome will be different.